Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Like each day is just a dull replica of the one before? Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when will you truly start living for yourself? Keanu Reeves once said, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." The question is, are you ready to wake up? If these words resonate with you, don't scroll away. Hit the like button to help us share this message with more people. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss a new video, and turn on notifications so we can continue exploring life's deepest philosophies together. Now let's dive into the path to true freedom. Imagine waking up one day and suddenly realizing that the life you have been living has never truly belonged to you. Every decision you've made, every sacrifice you've accepted, every mask you've worn was merely to align with the expectations of others. Yet, deep within you, there has always been a voice, a faint whisper, buried beneath responsibilities, fear of rejection, and a constant yearning for validation. And then, in a single moment, just one moment, everything changes. It is as if a curtain has been torn apart, allowing you to see reality for what it truly is. You realize that all this time, you have forgotten yourself. I once heard someone say that the most important journey a person can take is the journey inward. But choosing yourself has never been an easy decision. It means confronting deeply rooted fears, breaking free from the habit of pleasing others, and finding the courage to say no to everything that does not reflect your true essence. And it is in this moment that transformation truly begins. Some people will not understand you. Some will even blame you. They will say that you have changed, that you have become selfish, that you are no longer who you used to be. But that is the clearest sign that you're on the right path. Opposition from others does not always mean you are wrong. Sometimes, it simply means they are not ready to accept your transformation. When you begin to live authentically, you also begin to see who truly values you for who you are and who only love the version of you they created in their minds. Something incredible happens when you dare to be yourself. Everything starts to align naturally. Unexpected opportunities arise, new doors open, and the right people walk into your life. I call this meaningful coincidence, a seemingly random arrangement that carries the universe's message. When you embrace your true self, the world responds in ways you never imagined. But before reaching that point, you must pass through an unavoidable phase, loneliness. Stepping away from your old patterns often means leaving behind what is familiar. There will be nights when you sit alone, questioning whether you made a mistake. Moments of doubt will creep in. But remember, loneliness is not an emptiness to be filled. It is a space for self-discovery, a time to converse with your soul, and an opportunity to grow without being distorted by the expectations of others. Today, I invite you to embark on this journey. A journey filled with challenges, but also bathed in light. The journey back to yourself. I want to show you what happens when you finally choose yourself, when you place yourself above all else. This is not an easy journey, but one thing is certain. From this moment on, nothing will ever be the same. Before you begin, ensure that you're truly ready for change. This is not a fleeting decision, but a profound transformation. Because once you step onto this path, there is no going back. You will have to face yourself, your fears, your illusions, and the limitations you have unknowingly accepted for so long. Then, there will come a moment in your life when, without warning, something inside you breaks. You will stand before a mirror and realize that for years, you have not been living for yourself. You have said yes when your heart wanted to scream no. You have suppressed your desires just to meet the expectations of others. You have tried to fit in, to please everyone, except yourself. And then, something awakens. A fracture from within. An emptiness you can no longer ignore. It is your true self, your purest, most unfiltered voice, finally rising, clear and powerful. What if this time, I choose myself? It is a simple question, yet the weight it carries can change everything. Because that is the moment your transformation begins. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers in modern psychology, left us with a profound truth. Man's wholeness comes from self-discovery. But the journey to authenticity is never easy. Because choosing yourself is not just a personal decision, it is a revolution. The first thing you will notice when you finally prioritize yourself is that the world around you begins to react. Some people will look at you with suspicion. Others will feel threatened by your newfound confidence. They are not used to a version of you that no longer seeks approval, that no longer bends to the expectations of others. And as you stand firm in your truth, as you dare to voice what was once silenced within you, not everyone will be ready to accept it. This change may make you feel lonely. You might lose certain relationships, but remember that the ones that truly matter will always remain. Those who love you for who you are will not disappear just because you choose to live authentically. On the contrary, this transformation will help you filter your life, revealing who truly belongs on this journey with you. And then you'll begin to feel something extraordinary: freedom. When you're no longer bound by the expectations of others, you will realize that the world is far bigger than you ever imagined. New doors will open, and opportunities you never dared to dream of will appear. This is not magic, it is resonance. When you live as your true self, the universe responds by guiding you to where you truly belong. They will criticize you. They will say you have changed, that you have become selfish. But the truth is, you have not changed at all. You have simply returned to who you were meant to be. The problem was never you. It was that they had grown accustomed to a version of you that constantly compromised, that put their needs above your own. They were used to hearing you say yes when your soul wanted to say no. They were comfortable with a version of you that always listened, always sought to please, always feared that stepping beyond the familiar would mean being left behind. But now, you're no longer afraid. But one day, you realize that if you continue living this way, you will lose yourself completely. You decide to change, not to rebel against anyone, but to reclaim the person you abandoned long ago. You learn to say no to things that no longer serve you, to set clear boundaries, to listen to yourself instead of always listening to others. And that confuses them. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your transformation forces them to confront themselves, something not everyone is ready to do. Your evolution becomes a reminder that they, too, can change, that they, too, can live authentically instead of chasing external expectations. But not everyone is willing to embrace that reality. Some will distance themselves from you, not because you are wrong, but because they cannot face the truth that they, too, are trapped in a mold society has imposed upon them. They will call you selfish simply because you dare to prioritize yourself. They will say you have changed when, in reality, you are just becoming who you were always meant to be. The most important journey a person can take is the journey back to themselves. But this is not an easy path. It is not just a personal decision. It is a revolution. Once you start living as your true self, you will realize that not everyone can walk alongside you. Some will support you, some will oppose you, and some will choose to leave. But that is okay, because when you're truly yourself, the right people will naturally find you, and the things that no longer belong to you will gradually fade away. And those who remain will be the ones who truly see you, not the role you have played for so many years, but the real you. In the past, you craved validation, constantly striving to be the version of yourself that others wanted, believing that only then would you be loved, accepted, and respected. You sacrificed yourself to meet the standards others set, convinced that your worth was measured by their approval. But that was never the truth. Your strength has never been external. It has always been within you, waiting for you to realize it. And when you finally choose yourself, something miraculous happens. You realize you no longer need to prove anything to anyone. The fear of judgment, rejection, or not being enough begins to fade. You no longer feel guilty for saying no. You stop chasing acceptance. You let go of the burden of expectations that were never truly yours to carry. And in doing so, you discover the greatest freedom of all, to live unapologetically as yourself. The process of individuation is the journey of becoming the most authentic version of yourself. Not the model that society dictates, not the person your family envisions, but the soul-aligned version of you. It is an internal revolution, requiring you to confront yourself, to break down the walls you built just to please others. But the cost of not living authentically is far greater. It is the loss of yourself. And the greatest outcome of this process is liberation. You will feel lighter, stronger, more in tune with your true nature. You will no longer be shackled by scrutinizing eyes or by words that make you question your worth. You will understand that true love does not come from obedience or self-sacrifice, but from living in alignment with who you truly are. When you choose yourself, you not only free yourself, you inspire others to do the same. Walking this path is not easy. There will be moments of doubt, uncertainty, and even the temptation to retreat into your old comfort zone. But remember, every step forward brings you closer to the life you truly deserve. When you dare to choose yourself, you're not just changing who you are, you're changing how you see the world. You become the architect of your own life, a life no longer dictated by the expectations of others, but one filled with freedom, authenticity, and fulfillment. For the first time in my life, I feel undeniably certain that I am on the right path. No longer am I making choices distorted by the fear of rejection. No longer am I making decisions to please others or to gain social approval. I lived that way for too long, constantly trying to fill the emptiness inside me with the validation of others. But when I finally chose myself, the past lost its grip on me. I no longer feel the need to explain who I am or concern myself with scrutinizing eyes. I am no longer afraid of those who do not understand the journey I am on. And most importantly, I no longer try to patch up my emptiness with external praise because I have come to understand a simple yet profound truth. I am whole, even when I stand alone. The journey of returning to oneself requires immense courage. But that courage does not come from the outside world. It comes from within. It begins the moment we stop searching for answers in others and start listening to the voice inside ourselves. Have you ever noticed that when you make a truly authentic decision, everything around you begins to shift in a seemingly magical way? Doors you thought were forever closed suddenly open. People who align with your energy start to appear. Opportunities you once deemed impossible now unfold effortlessly, as if the entire universe is aligning with your footsteps. Choosing yourself is not an easy decision, but it is the only one that leads to true freedom. Once you dare to walk your own path, you will no longer be bound by judgment, nor manipulated by others' expectations. And above all, you will never feel lost in your own life again. Doors that once seemed permanently shut now swing open before me, as if an unseen force is guiding my way. Everything is unfolding with uncanny precision, making me wonder, could this be a miracle? Or is it simply the inevitable result of finally living in alignment with my true self? This is what is known as synchronicity. When you choose yourself, the world responds. The energy around you shifts. The wrong things start falling away, making space for what is truly meant for your growth. It is not magic. It is not mysticism. It is the natural consequence of living in truth, when your mind, heart, and actions are no longer in conflict but in harmony. But do not mistake synchronicity for an easy path. Quite the opposite. On this journey, you will face moments of doubt as the old and the new collide within you. You will encounter challenges that test your resolve, people who try to pull you back into your former self, and fears you thought you had buried suddenly rising to the surface, demanding to be confronted. It is in these moments that you must trust yourself. If something in your life suddenly starts flowing effortlessly, like a river unhindered by obstacles, perhaps that is the sign you are finally heading in the right direction. If a door suddenly opens effortlessly, if you meet the right people at just the right moment, bringing exactly what you've been searching for, it is not mere coincidence. It is a sign that you are on the right path, that you have finally stepped onto the road that aligns with your true self. One of the most daunting aspects of choosing to live authentically is the initial loneliness. Suddenly, you may feel adrift in the world, stripped of familiar relationships to lean on. with no old habits to cling to for comfort. But loneliness is not the enemy. It is an opportunity to rediscover yourself, to heal old wounds, and to build a life that truly belongs to you. And then, something remarkable happens. You begin to cherish your own presence, to enjoy moments of stillness without feeling empty. You realize that you do not need toxic people, nor do you have to settle for anything less than your worth, because a profound truth has taken root within you. You are complete just as you are. At first, solitude may feel like a burden, an emptiness that seems impossible to fill. There will be moments when you are tempted to go back, to return to relationships that once hurt you, just to soothe the aching void for a fleeting moment. But if you have the courage to stand firm, to resist the urge to fill the silence with what no longer serves you, you will discover that this is not a lack, but an open space, vast, fresh, and filled with infinite possibilities. It is in this moment that true transformation begins. You will uncover parts of yourself you never knew existed. You will realize that you do not need anyone's approval to feel whole. When I stopped and truly listened to myself, I discovered parts of me that had never been fully explored, passions that had been forgotten, dreams that had been set aside for too long. Suddenly, they came alive. Not because someone else ignited them, not because I needed to prove anything to the world, but because I had finally found the courage to look within and be honest with myself. And when I stopped fearing loneliness, something shifted. I no longer desperately searched for someone or something to fill the gaps within me. I no longer waited for external validation to feel worthy, because I had come to understand a fundamental truth. I was already whole from within. I did not need anyone to complete me. I was enough in my own unique way. Carl Jung left us with a profound message. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakens. The life you long for will not come from external sources. It is not shaped by the opinions or judgments of others. It cannot be built on the fear of disappointing someone else. That life begins the moment you make the most important decision of all, to choose yourself. If these words resonate with you, know that this is only the beginning. The road ahead may be long. There will be challenges. There will be moments when you feel lost. But this is your path, unique, extraordinary, and worthy of being walked to the end. No one can take this journey for you. This is yours alone, and only you can decide whether to embark on it. So tell me, are you ready to make the choice that could change your entire life? If these words have touched you, don't keep them to yourself. Share them with someone who needs to hear them. The world needs more people who dare to live authentically, who are unafraid to step out of their comfort zones to pursue a life of meaning. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is an inner revolution. It is the moment you stop living to please others and start living in alignment with your true self. This path is not an easy one. At times, it will be lonely. At times, you will doubt yourself. But if you keep moving forward step by step, that path will lead you to a life of authenticity and fulfillment. Fear of change is natural. There will always be a part of you that wants to pull you back into the past, to keep you in the safety of familiarity, because that is easier than facing the unknown. But remember, being trapped in a life that does not belong to you is far more painful than stepping into uncertainty. Every great transformation begins the moment we find the courage to look within. When we listen to our inner voice and face our shadows, we can turn fear into strength. There is no perfect time to start this journey. You do not need to wait until everything is clear. You do not need to wait until all fear is gone. Because the moment you decide to move forward, even if you tremble, even if you hesitate, you have already begun to change. And that is what truly matters. The perfect time is now. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to know exactly where the road ahead will lead. The only thing you need to do is take one step toward yourself, one step toward the freedom to live as your true self. If today you feel stuck, remember that every great change begins with a single decision: to stop accepting a life that does not belong to you and start living for what truly matters. You deserve a life of wholeness, a journey where every moment is meaningful, not just a cycle of repetitive, unfulfilling days. If these words have brought you value, leave a message. Tell me, what does choosing yourself mean to you? Because every story is unique, and perhaps your experience could inspire someone else to find their own path. Life does not truly begin when everything is perfect. It begins the moment you choose to be real, to step beyond fear, and to embrace the possibilities you once thought were out of reach. The journey to becoming yourself is never easy, but it is the most worthwhile path you will ever take. You do not need to have all the answers right now, just the courage to take the first step. So today, what will you choose? To continue living by the expectations of others, or to dare to live authentically? If this message has resonated with you, leave a comment, share your thoughts, a moment in your life when you choose yourself, or simply a word of encouragement for someone else who is searching for their path. Do not forget to like this video if you found it meaningful. Share to spread this positive message to others, and subscribe so you do not miss more profound insights. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.